Welcome to Mastering Your Monday podcast. And this is the show that talks about boundaries, work-life balance, and living a life where you have control. This is for highly driven professionals who want to develop a more balanced professional and personal life and live out their true values. Those who are ready to grab the reins and change the status quo. The professional who's ready to have a life again and who's ready to take a stand, living in a way that you feel respected, valued, and fulfilled each and every day. We talk about topics like setting boundaries, taking risks, life management, and all the tips, techniques, and strategies to help you master your Monday, one day at a time. Have you ever had a conversation with anyone lately and asked how they were doing? And the answer you seem to hear repeatedly is, "Phew, I am so busy." So the first question that pops in my mind is, yeah, but are you happy or productive in your busyness? Have we fallen into the trap of being busy for the sake of busyness? I love a great conversation. So pull up a chair, ringside that is, and let's talk the real deal today on episode 23, why busyness is a recipe for unhappiness. So if you know I'm all for getting a solid understanding on a subject at hand, so that we're on the same page and everything, let's take a closer look at the term busyness, because I really want to make sure you know what I mean when I'm saying busyness. So at first glance, you might think that busyness is simply being busy. But in reality, it means that you're so stressed and unhappy and overwhelmed by task. Busyness is busy on steroids. And so often we buy into this lie that busyness means we're productive and getting things done. But in most instances, that's not the case. And if you're wondering if you are, here's some indicators. So, are you busy, but there's no fruit for your labor? You're busy, you're doing this and doing that, and it feels like you're not getting anything done. That at the end of the day, you have nothing to show for all that busyness that you've been doing. The laundry's still not done. That report still isn't done, whatever. There's no fruit for your labor. Or what about this? The thought of all you have to do almost brings you to a panic attack. I got to do this and I need to write this and then I need to go here. Your heart starts pounding and your breathing starts accelerating. I think we need to look at that one. Or how about this one? Being busy, makes you feel important or worthwhile. Hey, I'm important because everybody needs me. Everybody wants a piece of the action. Everybody says, only Michelle can do it. Nobody can do it but like the girl. Well, if you want to be honest, if you want to honestly evaluate if you're feeling too busy, start evaluating how much pressure you feel. Your stress level will be high and you feel like there's never enough time in the day to get everything done. Or you're also be feeling unfulfilled and unsatisfied with your work. It's just not hitting it. Or are you feeling that the task seems so overwhelming and difficult to complete that even when you have the time, all the time in the world to get it completed, to work on them, you still feel overwhelmed, or the task at hand really isn't something you want to do, but you feel obligated to get it done. Like maybe you don't feel like cooking, but somebody and everybody got to eat. I got some things that you can put in place there. But the thing is, being busy has almost become the norm in our lives. Have you noticed that the residual effect of overtaxing our bodies and minds are things like the inability to focus? And I'm seeing it not just in elderly, but in my daughter and the kids and the grandkids. Everybody is having an inability to focus. Maybe it's because we're a little too busy. Or you're always tired. You never seem to rest. Your eyes are tired because you're always looking at some computer or technology or some screen somewhere. So your eyes are tired. Your body is tired because you're always doing something. And if it's not a fun thing, because we're busy doing fun thing. The kids have this activity and this activity and this activity because you always want them to be number one. And then you have to complete this and you want to do this and you want to do that. Being constantly on, it's unnatural. It's unhealthy for us to stay at that state of performance over and over and day in and day out. And there's actually medical statistics on this, that our brain and our minds and our bodies can't stay at this level constantly, day in, day out, minute by minute, hour by hour. So here's what I'm talking about. Have you ever been with a few minutes to yourself? I mean, absolutely nothing pressing on the books, no appointments, no place you have to be. And you feel totally unnerved. Like, what the heck? Something's wrong, not right. You just know. I know I should be doing something. I forgot to do something. Something's missing. Only to find out you really do have times on your hand and there's nothing you have to do. It actually feels wrong. And the reality is, it's not. We have just become so accustomed to having to be busy that we have lost the ability to have that space. The busy lifestyle has become so norm for so many of us that, I'm not going to say it's all bad, because there are some benefits to that busy lifestyle, such as things like, hey, who doesn't want to have financial stability? And who doesn't want to have career success? And hey, we all like a little notoriety, right? But there are also downsides to it, such as, I feel this one, lack of sleep, late at night, early in the morning, because you just want to have that time to get the things done. I got to get up early to get everything in, but I'm staying up late to finish what I didn't finish. And with that comes increased chance of health issues. Your body can only take it so long. And the thing that really hurts me, damaged relationships. Oh, yeah. When you don't have the time for those you love, or to meet new people, or to do new things. And between those two lists, the upside and the downside, well, with the upside, the benefits, they can be regained and rebuilt. You know that? We see that truth day in and day out. How even through calamities of life, through the pandemic, through hurricanes, the things we can get back, we can rebuild. But that second list, the downside, sleep, health, relationships, time, we can't get that back. And they tend to be the things that we learn count the most, especially when the chips are down. Those things are hard to repair. And when it's damaged, in most cases, they have the tendency to never, ever be the same. I'm not saying we can't repair them. Not at all. It's like a fractured vase. You can put it back together and it will seem to be good as new. But the slightest stress that you cause can make that area give in and weaken and break. So being on that busy lifestyle merry-go-round thing can rob us of the valuable time that we could spend doing the things that are important to us, being with the people who are important to us, and doing the things that can last a lifetime. It's important to make sure that we put our relationships and ourselves ahead of the things that are temporal so that we can live a more fulfilling life, a more fluid life. Look, I'm not trying to sound all preachy and everything, but this is from the heart and is born out of concern and love for you and for me. I fight this battle constantly myself, even though I know what to do and the importance of doing it, but learned behavior and a lifetime of patterns are bare to overcome, but not impossible. And awareness is the first step to success. One of these lifetime misconceptions is that being busy means you're productive and successful. But the truth is that in order to be productive, you need to be rested. You really do. Restored and refreshed. The 3 R's. And believe you me, I can pull many examples out to prove this one, but I won't burn your ears this go around. Busyness just makes you feel more tired and unproductive. It's not healthy to stay busy all the time. If you're feeling overwhelmed, take a break. I know, easier said than done. To be honest, take it from someone who's been there, ate that bag of chips. You will be more productive if you give yourself time to rest and restore your energy. And speaking of patterns, let's identify some patterns of that busy-minded person. Us. The best way to identify a pattern is to analyze the behavior. So we need to look at our behavior. And so ask yourself, if you're an entrepreneur who's always trying to do everything at the same time, that multitasking thing, then you're most likely a busy minded person. And side note, multitasking is a fallacy, but another discussion for another time. Let's just say we can't be all things to all people. It's kind of that jack of all trade, master of none. And another one of the major patterns along this journey of busy minded people is that they want to do everything on their own. Nobody does it better. Nobody does it better. I'm sorry, I just had to break out in sound. But, feeling that you're the only one that can do it, that while this can seem like it's an admirable trait, it can also have negative consequences. Things like procrastination and inefficiency. Because you're trying to do everything, something drops. The ball is dropped. Or because you think of everything that you have to do, you never do it. Because the thought of doing everything is so overwhelming. And the next pattern for identifying busy-minded people, well, is that we tend to overestimate our efficiency, or underestimate what others are capable of doing for us. That thing that nobody does it better, the one above. And so because nobody does it better, you don't allow others to grow because you feel they can't do it as well as you can. And you know what? Let me let you in on a secret. Sometimes they do it even better. Because sometimes you're not the expert at everything. Let someone who can do it better do it. So now that I've totally loaded you down with a lot to think about, I can't leave you today again without something you can walk away with and use. And the beauty is, for all this busyness, you don't have to stay there. We can make a change for the better. There are a million ways to be a force for a positive change. There really is. And I'm all for being a positive change in this world. But the key is to find out what really matters to you. What riles you up? What excites you? And then go for it. Find a way that you can be an instrument of change, not just for yourself, but for others. The beauty is, it doesn't have to be anything earth-shattering. That's a hard one, or it was a hard one for me to swallow. I wanted to be this big thing. And so it was hard for me to come to terms with the fact that being a change or an instrument of change, it didn't have to be something earth-shattering. But let me tell you, when I got that, I got it. I thought that the only way I could make a difference in life was if I did something big, something that I felt had to be, out front, touching millions. And then I began to understand the law of multiplication. I know we all learned that in school, but I'm talking about it the law of multiplication in life. We can all make a difference by doing something as simple as smiling at someone and saying, hello, hi. Saying thank you and offering a compliment. Oh my gosh, I love that dress. Your hair looks fantastic. You know why? Because that lets them know, I see you. You matter. I care about you. And sometimes just knowing that simple fact, that small thing makes their day, makes them want to keep going on, gives them hope. Asking someone, how are you doing? And really waiting and listening for their answer really tells them that you care. So the next time you say, hey, how you doing? Stop. And if they say, oh, I'm fine, say, no, really. How are you doing? And that made me very intentional about even saying this. Like when we're walking, we're taking a walk during the day. And you know how you see people? I stopped saying, hi, how you doing? Because if I wasn't willing to stop and listen, I turned that around to, hi, have a great day. Hope your day is well. Because I never, well, I don't want to say never. I try not to say, how you doing? If I'm not ready to stop and listen. And when I started doing that, things started changing for me. But not only that, if you don't have the time, we can volunteer our time, but you can also give money to charities that align with your values. We don't always have to have the time to give, but if we have the resources, we can give those and do those things to also help make the lives better or different for others. I started finding joy in each life that I had the blessing to speak into, to share with, or just listening and offering care. That's why I do this podcast. Because I hope if just one person learns something, can take what I say and do something with it, I've changed something for somewhere. It is not just about me anymore. I started letting my curiosity get the better of me. And instead of talking about me all the time, I started to asking about them and their lives. And I started listening. I started realizing that my sphere of influence or who I help or my difference that I make in the world might just be in my family, may just be being the wife that I am for my husband and encouraging and lifting him up. It may just be being the difference in the mom and my daughter and the grandmother that I am and speaking into their lives. It just may be making a difference in the lives of those who I'm close to. And I began to be okay with that. I began to rest in that. And I began to find the true joy with each new person that I could reach. So do I want to make a difference in thousands of lives? Absolutely. if I can help you manage your life and regain time and value and purpose in what you're doing, then amen, let me do it. But I challenge you to start by asking yourself at the end of the day, what do I want others to remember about me? How do I want them to feel when they recall the memories of me and they say, my name, your name? I want them to feel the love. So, busyness for the sake of busyness, is that what you want for your life? Woo! Okay, so let me lighten this up a bit before we close. Speaking of changing for the better, I am so excited to share with you some changes that I'll be adding to the podcast to make it even more beneficial to your Mastering Your Monday. It isn't all about me. So starting in October, I will be adding some guest co-hosts. And I say guest co-hosts because it's going to be a conversation where we're discussing topics in their expertise to help you on your journey to living an amazing life and having the success without the sacrifice. Things that are important to your life. And as I gain knowledge, I want to share it with you. I am so glad that you were able to hang out with me today for our ringside chat because you are amazing. And I hope you enjoy this episode. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit subscribe or follow on whatever platform you're in or on so that you don't miss a single episode. And one more thing I want you to do, and that's visit masteringyourmonday.com/pathway. And that's where you'll find all types of things that I have going on just for you. Oh, and I almost forgot. Ready to learn how you can stop the busyness and be more productive and have a more productive Monday? Well, keep your ears open because September 13th, I will be kicking off a powerful challenge to help you put in place some powerful ways to reclaim your time and your life back. So I am so excited about it because I have an amazing tool that I'll be sharing with you to help you even after the challenge. I'll let you know when enrollment goes live. So make sure you tune in to my social media and everywhere so you won't miss it. And don't forget, if you want to stay in the know on what I'm up to, visit masteringyourmonday.com/pathway. Make sure to let me know how I can serve you further. And that's the place to do it. And remember, I got a lot for you to remember. Master every day like it's your Monday. Take care. Bye-bye. I want to thank you for listening to the Mastering Your Monday podcast. I hope you learned at least one tip or technique you can walk away with and implement today. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review the show and let us know how much you enjoyed it and what you learned from this episode. We honor your time and your commitment to Mastering Your Monday podcast. And as always, we want to remind you, you are cherished, respected, valued, and in control. See you on the next episode.